You can see our industrious workers are hard at work here, aerating the soil, eating the bad stuff, pooping out fertilizer, and they'll do this all day, every day. They're almost always doing this and only very occasionally taking a break. You could not pay people to be this thorough or work this many hours per day. The other thing you'll see here is we got all this lightly soiled goat hay. So the goats have been doing their business on this hay, getting it ready to go on the garden beds and provide more nutrients for us. Here we got one of the mighty mouse hunters hiding out in his little rain shelter there, I guess. He is the only cat that's an indoor-outdoor cat. The other ones are exclusively indoor or exclusively outdoor, but this one gets a little of each. It's been a while since I worked on the foam sleeping chamber, and that's because it's been awfully cold recently. I need to have those warmer temperatures in order to do the upcoming gluing and painting. But it is actually starting to warm up now, so it's time to get back to focusing on this project a little. So here's the model that I had from before. It's only a half model. I didn't model the other side because it's the same thing. And one thing that you may have noticed, both in the model and in the version I've actually built, is I have no doorway. How do I actually get into this thing, right? And that is going to be what I'm exploring today. So my first concept here, I'm going to zip ahead, zoop, is a simple hatch that goes on top. And let's see if I can properly select this and open it. Let's see, move. So this hatch here lifts up. It would probably actually be hinged here, so it would flip up, or maybe it would come off somehow. I haven't worked out all those details. The advantage of this design is it only cuts away some of the roof and none of the wall. So this retains a lot of strength of the structure because it's still all very tightly bound together. But the challenge here is this is a 2-foot high wall, and then there's a little gap here. So that's going to be a pretty tall person to step over all of that. I could maybe put some stairs on either side, which would help with that and make it easier. But it's not necessarily the ideal solution. It is good for strength, but it is not the most convenient way to get in and out. It also doesn't necessarily provide the best protection when it's raining. You open it up, you got the hatch. If it's hinged there, maybe it'll open up and you get some rain protection, but there is definitely concern about water getting in. And then even when the hatch is closed, you have to prevent water from getting in. So you'll see there's this frame here. Oops. There's a frame that had to be sort of created around the outside of the hole so that when the water hits the roof here, it gets diverted and goes around the outside. And one of the challenges is this roof piece was originally cut out of this roof piece, but in order for the top to be bigger than the hole it's covering, like that doesn't work. This came from inside the hole, so it can't also simultaneously be bigger than the hole. And so I had to, if we kind of turn this around here, I had to laminate a whole bunch of extra stuff on here. So this roof has a lot of issues with it in terms of difficulty to construct, as well as actual usage issues that are maybe a bit concerning. But it was a good first attempt. So the second concept, let's load this up now. So this is my second concept, which is sort of the gull wing door approach. So we've got, let's see if I can grab this thing. And why is it, how do I move that? I'm not an expert in this program yet, so that's why things are taking a little. I think I went to drive joint. So we'll see here the concept is that the thing flips open, choop, and now obviously rain can still come on the sides, but at least I've got a little bit of rain protection here depending on if it's coming straight down. If it's blowing in this way, I'm in deep trouble, but whatever. There's not a lot in there that can't get wet, I guess. So this design definitely is not as rigid as the old one because the only thing really holding the two halves together is this little bit in here. but it's a lot easier to get in there, a lot more space. I don't have to make such a huge step. And this is going to be nice and high here, higher than me, so when I get in here, it's nice. It's also conceivable I could maybe devise some sort of way to prop this open and have netting on there so that I could get a lot of airflow if my concern was getting too hot in the summer. So this is the design I think I'm going to go with. Now in this design, I haven't actually sketched in how I'm going to prevent the rain from getting in, because right now you'll see that there's no sort of gutters or anything. And so when this is closed, the water would just come right down these cracks and come inside, which is not good. But what I'm actually going to do is just take some foam pieces and glue them on the inside here. And those foam pieces will have tracks in them, like little gutters, so that when it comes down the crack here, it goes in the gutter and just goes down here. So obviously if I put that in the rendering, my explanation would be more clear, but instead you'll just have to watch me do it in real life and then it will all become clear. So one thing that I could do for those gutters is I could make them out of foam. Another option is I could make them out of wood, and that might help. If I had a little wood framing around this doorway here, that might help restore some of the rigidity that was lost when I cut out this very large panel here for the door. So I think that I have the wood, and I might consider doing the wood version. I don't want to put wood on the door itself because I want to keep the door nice and light, since it actually has to move and I have to lift it up. But wood around the framing could be good to help keep the thing rigid. Especially if this starts flopping around, the door may not close properly, so having a nice square door that's kind of rigid sounds promising. Also, sorry if you hear the rain on the roof in this project. Rain's definitely coming down now, but it's getting late in the day, and if I don't record this voiceovers now, this video is not going out today, so. That is all I really have for today. This design work takes a long time, and like I said, I'm not yet an expert in this program, so it takes me a lot longer to do anything than somebody who actually knew what they were doing. But every time I use it, I get to understand it a little bit more, and I get it a little bit faster. And at the price of $0 per year, that's a pretty sweet deal. So if you are into doing 3D stuff and you're just doing it for personal, not commercial use, like I am, you can get this for free from Autodesk.